So now, politics when they came to an end, and you're still very young, your whole life ahead still, young family. Did you know at that point where you saw professional wise where you were going? It was more, let me kind of test the waters and let me see what the universe brings. How did that process work?
So I knew myself well enough, and you picked up a couple of the themes. I wanted a leadership position of some kind. I like to be, as George W. Bush famously said, the decider. And secondly, I do enjoy, public affairs, and the public fight over something that I care about. I wanted to have a job that had a strong motive behind it, that connected with my heart. And that could have been, working for an association where I ended up, could have involved working for a company that I believed in. And as you just mentioned, one of my piece of advice I give to people when they ask me to talk about this: take chances. We've talked about that a little bit. Put your hand up and step forward. Number two is building long lasting and trusting relationships. And when I was a PC party leader or involved in politics, I had established good relationships with the Ontario Real Estate Association. I like the realtors. I believe strongly in home ownership, what that does to us as people and to communities. And when the CEO job came open, I said, I'm going to put my hat in the ring. And
That was one of my first questions.
yeah,
You threw the hat, or they came calling. So you were aware of it, and you.
so I was made aware of it by a friend who I had known, through the political world. Said it'd be good for you. Put your hat in before it became public. So I had an inside scoop.
Yes.
Then put my hat in the ring. And the interview committee, I'm trying to think. I think it was about 7 people, and 5 of those 7 I had met in my previous work and had established a relationship with. So number one, I was pretty calm. I had met them before, but they all had. I learned this later, sort of a positive connection. One said, Tim, I was a nobody at OREA. I was at a conference one time, sitting at the back of the room, and you spoke, and then you came around and worked the room, shook my hand, sat down beside me. And unlike most politicians, where they look over your shoulder to see, who's more important in the room to talk to, you looked me in the eye, you talked to me about me, you talked about my business, and she had remembered that to that very day, and she had climbed the ladder. So when I went for the job, because I had established a long and trusting relationship with not only individuals but the association, it really helped me, I think, get a head start and an advantage in that competition for that job.
I've been following your path in OREA because we have this natural fit together, just the way the universe kind of works. When I joined my law firm, Kormans, in 2015 as a junior partner at that point, I was looking for more challenges, and I was giving lots of seminars and constantly public speaking workshops. And I reached out to OREA and I said, I think you guys do really great work. And I'm an experienced practitioner. I'm not retired. I'm in the trenches. How can I help the next breed of realtors? How can I help disseminate information? That was my starting point. And as luck would have it, by the time I became facilitator, you joined, I believe, in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
You got it exactly.
So we've almost been following the same path that way. So now by the time you come on board, I've been spending 6 months dissecting OREA, understanding exactly how they're set up, and whether I can devote my time and attention, because it's a big commitment. Like if you're a full-time practicing lawyer, to decide that I'm going to prepare these materials and I'm going to design my class time, there's only so much to give. You have personal life, you have the professional life, you're going to teach as well. For anybody who wants to be a facilitator or instructor in general, you're going to be part of something like that. You have to decide you're making this commitment. And I did. And I was so glad I did. And I remember sitting in the OREA interview, and I had 4 people interviewing me to be a facilitator.
Oh, wow.
They don't joke around. So I'm sitting like a chair here. They were all wrapped around, and they were rapid firing at me for 10 minutes. They took it very, very seriously. And I was very, very impressed. So I already knew the ins and outs of OREA that I had no idea before. I find out you come on board, and I said, I start to have this quandary in my head, because on the one hand, I'm saying to myself, why is this man not going to be prime minister one day? Like, why is he not there? Like this, that's where I was envisioned for you. That was my goal as far as going on into politics. That's just where I saw you for all those years that that I've been aware that I knew your name. And then I kind of thought about it going back, and I said to myself, look at this, because you have the name, you're known in the community. I figured you must have a relationship, because if you're going to be in politics, real estate always goes hand in hand. That's always a hot button topic.
Yep, for sure.
You're always asking about it. This is now going to give a profile for real estate. He's going to put the work into it like he did in the PC party. I think real estate's in really good hands right now. So I was very, very excited. And that's where I came to that seminar to come hear you speak specifically. We meet in the bathroom. I end up at OREA to come and to your office. And fantastic. And it's been 6 years. How does time fly?
Like that, eh? Like that flies by. That's good of you to say. It was said it was a job that really gave me a lot of motivation. We've had, I think, tremendous success in raising the bar when it comes to professional standards, new legislation like the Trust and Real Estate Services Act. We brought in personal real estate corporations, which our members now can use as a modern business tool to help with their tax planning, investing, hiring, servicing their clients better. And we've had a dramatic impact on the way government looks at real estate as well, really focused on creating more homes people can afford. So I do feel like my background in politics and advocacy, some of the public speaking qualities, and knowing your way around Queen's Park, right? I think that has helped really advance the agenda. And we've got a great team. Realtors are instant, successful salespeople. So when you bring them in for the big meeting, they kind of know how to close the deal.
When I speak to realtor friends of mine and told them you're coming on the program, their eyes light up. It's amazing how many, especially the millennials, don't actually know you at all from the political career. They know you as OREA. That's it. But they've seen you in the news. They read the statements you make. You make sure that you're advocating. And that's an important thing for this industry, because the lifeline, in my estimation, of society, the economy, the market, jobs, a lot of it revolves around real estate, as far as building real estate, construction, people owning homes, affordable homes, realtors, the profession, mortgage brokers, home inspectors, lawyers, like everybody's interrelated. The amount of money and jobs and the economy that goes, it lives and dies almost by real estate. Right now, where we're at in 2022, what's the first thing that people would ask? Where's the market? Where's the market? Where's the market? Interest rates? Where's the market? I can tell you when COVID began, which we're not going into COVID, but the one thing I cared about, knowing, I have a business going, my employees, are we going to be an essential business? Are we going to function? I have clients, I have people. I need to get them into their homes. We have closings next week. We have closings next month. How are we going to do this? If we're not an essential business, what's going to happen here? Fortunately, it all worked out. I know there's a lot of advocacy in the background, making sure things like that did happen, and it did. We got through difficult times. We're now in a difficult time as well today, as far as in the crossroads and people not knowing the crystal ball where things are going.
Yep.
But what I talked this morning on a real estate podcast, and I said, go to your professionals, talk to the trusted people who've been through this through decades before. Know that there's a cycle to these things. Don't give up. It always turns around, maybe sooner than you even think about it, but think positively. Don't necessarily believe everything gospel-wise. And this is not to speak badly on journalism whatsoever. They have their roles, and I understand that. But don't necessarily believe doom and gloom. I think that Ontario's traditionally been very, very strong, the Canadian market in general, and I still see good things. And we're going to dive into that in a little bit as we wrap it up today. But from an OREA standpoint, these are the kinds of things, issues that come for you. I'm sure daily you've lived and breathed and slept it for the last 6 years. I can see that when I come into OREA, when we met, the respect that you command there, I love it there, because there is a leadership structure and there is a hierarchy, but yet everybody's working on that level. I love how you brought in the staff and you're working with OREA, but everybody, no matter what their position is, you're all working together as a team, and that's great to see.
Thank you. I like thinking so. Blessed to have a very strong and experienced team who've done a very good job of keeping the talent and attracting new talent to advance the mission. A tremendous board of directors, a lot of experience and insight to give us guidance and strategic direction. But the bottom line, Jonathan, that's rewarding about this job, we really have two things that we strive to do. Number one, helping create more homeowners in our province, people that have played by the rules, they've done everything right, they got their degree, they saved up every buck that they could, but they can't find a home that they can afford to save their lives. And we want to make that difference to help bring those keys closer to home with our members. And number two is making sure that realtor at your side has the highest professional standards anywhere in North America. When you're making the most crucial decision on your biggest asset, both financially and to you personally, you want to make sure you've got a trusted advisor there. And we've raised the bar when it comes to our professional standards, tougher discipline for those who break the rules. And we've really moved the ball on both those fronts. And I'm excited about the time ahead as we get, halfway through 2022.
I love it. Now, I was going to give the example of IBM. When you and I were growing up, IBM, we knew them for computers.
Absolutely.
Right? Desktops. And now it's consulting. You need to evolve or you don't. And one of the things that I've been very impressed with, because when you came on board, I think OREA was at a crossroads and which direction it's heading in. And I could say, sitting here in the year 2022, the future is very, very bright. If you can help shed some light for the listeners, so especially for those realtors out there that are watching and understanding, what is OREA? Why are they there for me? What am I a part of this? What are they doing, and where are they headed?
Yeah. So the top functions we do, the advocacy I've talked about, we are there to be the voice of the homeowner and those who aspire to own homes. We want to be the voice of our realtors and the men and women and families that they work hard for every day. And I love it. You should have done this too, John. I think when you talk to a realtor about the first time they helped out a first-time home buyer, like their smiles just light up their face, right? More of that. That's number one in advocacy with professional standards and raising the bar. Number two, we do the standard forums. That's the common language when it comes to real estate. So whether you're in Toronto or Timmins or Tobermory, right, you use our forums to make sure that we smooth out the real estate deal and try to anticipate anything that might be a gray area, a risky area, that we have a forum for that. Third, we're doing more guidance. You talked about what happened during COVID. So when new government rules come out, there's a new court decision. How do I cope with that? So we inform our members and give them guidance on best practices to deal with the issues of the day that are evolving. And fourth and finally, for those watching at home that are in real estate who want to get involved as leaders, you want to be on your local board, provincially, nationally, or you want to volunteer on your local hospital board, soccer club, BMA, or whatever, we do leadership training to help put those incredible talents and experience of realtors to work for their communities, to run for public office. Two reasons here. Number one, the more realtors we actually have elected, the better decisions we're going to have for real estate. Because somebody buys one or two houses in their life, they think they're experts, right? Politicians may make bad decisions. Need realtors in office to make sure that when the doors close and only the politicians are there, they make the right decisions. But number two is, my experience in my 21 years in politics, spoke to all kinds of groups, big and small, in cities, towns, and villages. Jonathan, it's incredible that the greatest set of volunteers were Ontario realtors. Wherever you went, was it the food bank or the hockey club? It was a realtor who was leading the way on the school council. They do an incredible job volunteering at a very grassroots level. Our leadership training helps to get those skills and do even more of that.
Best realtors that I know, and you're saying this, and it's triggering now memories for me. How many realtors I know that are Rotarians,
Yeah.
Kiwanis, hospital boards, like you're saying. It begins with that. And it's simply not that they're trying to drum up business or trying to get an angle. Many of them don't even advertise that. It's building those relationships in their community, understanding the people and needs. If you do good out there, it'll come back. You never worry about the last buck, they always say.
Yep.
But not what can I get out of somebody, but what can I do for that person? I can tell you, as a real estate lawyer and having taught it and talked about the changes, it's been so refreshing. First of all, you talk about the prex, night and day difference, why this was not in place sooner. And realtors were so thankful for it because from a tax planning perspective, it's a no-brainer for them. All the other professions had it. Why did they not have it?
Mm-hmm.
They're fantastic. Clarity on marketing and being able to use the right terms, not the right terms. And also as far as protecting the public from advertising as well. Great changes as far as the forms are coming. So we've seen that. I know I've invoked it and I've talked about it with realtors and it's been a lot smooth sailing. The two, you're talking about forms, pottles. Nobody seems to understand what a pottle is, a parcel of tied land. I can tell you how many times people don't use that form at all. And the other one, which if we were sitting in your office, and I'm just going to throw there in general, that has come up time and time again, is assignments.
Mm-hmm.
So for some reason, people have deemed me, they say I'm self-proclaiming this. I am not, but they call me the assignment king of Toronto.
Okay.
I do a lot of assignments. Too many assignments. I give a lot of seminars on assignments. It's not a very difficult thing, but the unknown scares the bejeebers out of people. If somebody's never done an assignment before, they get very nervous. It's like I can see when I'm working in the office, somebody who does the same role day to day, they're very comfortable. You throw one thing into the equation, that can stop the whole process. All of a sudden, assignments are no different. But the truth of the matter is, they are very complicated transactions. There's tax implications. There's much going on there. I'm telling you right now that I'm offering up my services and anything that I can do to assist in the process of the profession. Assignments are not going away anytime soon. I think they're all going to grow as far as people purchasing mostly their new construction. I know people do them from a resale perspective, but that's more, I would say, in BC. We don't see them as much in Ontario. But people choosing to buy new construction, saying, this is not working for me, whatever reason. Maybe I got divorced, maybe I got
Yep.
married, I'm having a kid, I'm changing my job, whatever it being. And somebody's saying, I'm just, or maybe they're just flipping it. There's all sorts of things out there. I know policymakers from the government level look at these things as far as how is this affecting end users. And they've made some clarity recently with HST. But those forms and how assignments are done, I know I'm out there pounding the pavements, speaking to brokerages. That's a biggie. And you have my services. You have it now on
Thank
the
you.
record. Anytime I could then help the profession from the assignment point of view, you got it.
Deeply appreciate it. Thank you.